We want to clean in the paint. We're going to call hand checking and body checking, and sportsmanship is an absolute must. Okay.
He lets it fly. Oh, I can't believe it.
Welcome back to the Two Shots in the Ball podcast. I am your co-host, Coach Mike McAndrews, along with referee Jim McAndrews. I say referee this week to spare our listeners from the Jim McAndrews comedy act that we saw last week.
Hello, Coach McAndrews.
So how was your week? Weather here was a little spotty, some rainy days and some nice days. We're heading back to another work week.
Survived. All is good. I actually ran into a couple people this past week and said, saw you on the podcast. So that was good.
That just means I haven't done a good enough job of editing, is all that means.
Yeah, okay.
So how about the Tigers heading into the All-Star break?
A lot of
Best
players.
record in MLB.
Yeah,
Tons
a lot
of
of players.
Yeah.
School starting. That'll be exciting. Yep.
Yeah, exciting. It's been an exciting summer so far for the Tigers.
Yeah.
In today's episode, we're going to switch things up a little bit, Jim. We're going to get out of the realm of just high school basketball and talk to a guest we've both been looking forward to talking to about high school sports in the state of Michigan, and one of the administrators that we've been looking forward to talking to. I know we're both excited about this episode.
I'm really looking forward to getting his perspective. It's going to be a good conversation.
All right, well, let's introduce our guest. This week's guest is a 1993 graduate of Detroit Catholic Central, where he was a three-sport athlete. In his senior season in football, he was named to the All-State Dream Team, USA Today All-American Honorable Mention, and led his team to a state championship. In baseball his senior year, he was named All-State Honorable Mention. After graduating from Catholic Central, he went on to play college football at Hillsdale, where he was a four-year starter and won the Leadership Award, Ironman Award, and named team captain his senior season. And in 2020, he was inducted into the Detroit Catholic League Hall of Fame. We are really excited to have one of the best guys I've been around in high school athletics, Aaron Babicz from Detroit Catholic Central, join the Two Shots in the Ball podcast. Aaron, thanks for joining us.
Guys, I'm so
Aaron.
fired up. It as much as I love to hear about myself, it's pretty humbling, and I'm just really lucky to be around a lot of great people my whole life, and you guys are exactly the same. So I'm really looking forward to it. I'm really excited.
Thank you, Aaron.
So walk us through Aaron Babitz's journey from student athlete as a freshman at CC, or even before that, to Aaron Babicz, the athletic director today.
Aaron Babicz, slightly husky as a child. Always had to buy my own uniforms. Never had pants that fit. Always had to buy my own jersey. That happened all the way until I was probably in seventh grade. Finally, at St. Sebastian in the CYO, they were able to find some uniforms that fit. We did get new basketball uniforms my eighth grade year because mine was a little too tight along with another power forward. So it was an interesting journey to start, but had two great parents that would cart me all over the place. Very old school. I know, Mike, you're from the class of champions, 1993 as well. So you were parented
Got it, baby.
by a father coach who I know is very near and dear to your heart. And I got the same support. So just very old school stuff. My dad taking me out and working with me and playing strike. I was too heavy to play football till my freshman year at Catholic Central. So I was a baseball and what I thought was a basketball kid. I was quickly humbled freshman year at CC because I got cut from the freshman basketball team. So I don't know if we plan on diving into that, but I'm still a little upset. But
well, that's a first. That's a first
Let's
on
stay
this
there.
podcast. Yeah, that's a first on this podcast. So history making.
The only guy ever to be cut from freshman basketball on here. Great. Everybody's good. Everybody's good in eighth grade. Like I said, I came from St. Sebastian, played against a lot of the guys I tried out against, but I'm pretty sure it was for the best for our program. So, but stuck with football, tried wrestling, got to play for some really great men like Tom Mack and Rick Karate, Roy Dudas, Coach Rodriguez in wrestling. Then played baseball in the spring for guys like John Salter, Al Moran, and was just really around some awesome people. And then that journey led me to Hillsdale, where I just found more positive people to bring into my circle. And it's kind of where we find ourselves today. So that's kind of it in a nutshell. It was too short to make it to anything past college football. And now I dabble in slow pitch softball. So that's about it.
So how'd you get back to CC in 2009?
I came out of Hillsdale in the spring of '98, and I was a marketing major. So every class that I took outside of my major was an early education class. I love going to Hillsdale Academy, the local grade schools, being a mystery reader, or just mentoring in the classes. And I kind of started to regret not going into education right around my senior year at Hillsdale. A coaching job came open at Catholic Central. I was very honored to do that at the freshman level with someone who was a mentor to me, Chris Johnston, who graduated 1989, also played at Hillsdale, and just fell in love with it. It was really special to me when I was here as a student athlete at Catholic Central, but when I got to come back as a coach, it changed. Something for me changed because I had already gone through my journey, and I just fell in love with the culture and the experience all over again. And I had a sales job and was just trying to find ways to get into the school without having to get my teaching degree. And the admissions job opened, and that's selling the product that people want to hear about, which is rare in that industry. So that's how I got my foot back in the door to be in the building in 2006.
Awesome.
Great story, and a lot of those accolades are just tremendous. Is that still a CYO thing? Do you know, Mike? Is there a weight thing?
Yeah, there's still
That's
it's a safety thing for you.
I know, but I thought maybe today just wouldn't be. But
the next gym tackles somebody, Aaron, will be the first time. So
yeah, I know. But those tight uniforms are back in, no, Aaron. So that's I think it might have worked out for you. Yeah, Mike and I and you have been around high school athletics our entire lives. Can you talk about some of the life lessons, and you hit on some of it, and experience that can be learned through the high school sports? You played a lot of them. You were involved in a lot of them. Mike and I were as well. Can you talk about that? What your thoughts are?
You learn how to fail. That's it. That's about as and kids nowadays need to realize that you are going to fail, and you're going to fail big. You're going to fail repeatedly. What I learned early is I had to put the people around me to fill my gaps in, whatever I was missing as a young student athlete, a young leader. I had two really supportive parents, like I said. So my big thing is leading with love. And I constantly tell our coaches that I love them. I tell our student athletes that, and they know when I say that I mean it because I pour back into them, and they know it's coming from a place of care. Same thing as if we have to go through something tough together. So I'm constantly telling them, guys, we might be working through a tough situation. You're going to fail. I'm here for you to fail. How do we work through this towards a positive solution? And I think that's the biggest thing outside of the relationships that we get to build. Big relationship guy. I think that defines who we are as human beings, as Catholics, as people who are in faith-based educational athletics. Without our relationships, we're nothing at all. And I think if we model that for the kids, we teach them how to be resilient, how to fight together and compete for something bigger than themselves. We're setting them up to be great husbands, wives, employees, fathers, mothers, priests, sisters, whatever it might be. So we try to keep it simple, and that's really what I try to do. I mean, I tell Mike I love him all the time and how proud of him, just randomly on some cheesy text. So, and it's not just I'm looking for tickets to the Cardinal Mooney game. It's just because I'm proud of him, and I see what he does, and I feel it too. So it's I just try to keep it simple, and that's really what you can learn: how to fail big, and fail forward.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know if you're coaching anything over there at CC, because
I'm making making a comeback this year for third and fourth grade Walled Lake Braves football. So I dusted the old whistle off.
Oh, offense we running.
I can't. Just in case anybody sees us from the league, I don't want to. But you know that we'll.
I got you.
There'll be a small emphasis on the run game. Little one.
Yeah, Aaron Belichick. So you touched on it earlier, Aaron, a little bit in giving us your story. But is there a person or some people who have had a major impact on you in your professional journey, not just as a student athlete, but on the professional side as an athletic director at CC?
That's a good one. I'm going to have a hard time with, because we lost one of them recently, and that's Father Dennis Kaufman. And I know you guys saw him at every single CC event, every Catholic event,
everything.
Catholic League event, whether it was a scholar athlete banquet or something else. He was a really big spiritual advisor for me. I could bounce anything off of him on what I was going through my marriage with my children, being a 49-year-old father of two psychopaths. I could just talk to him like a friend. And that was really big for me. And Father Elmer, Richard Elmer, was another guy. Father Elmer was the type of priest and he was insanely busy, but if you went to talk to him, he always made you feel like you were the only person in his life, no matter where he was, no matter how hot the fire was. And I steal a lot from those guys. Great coaches that I had, like Coach Mack. My college coaches were all fantastic. But personal mentors for me, guys like Jeff Wiska, who played at Catholic Central, went on to play in the NFL. He helped shape me as a young leader, real big into Dale Carnegie and John Gordon and positivity and things like that, and having the right mindset to survive in this world. I would say those are some of my biggest mentors outside of my family. And to be totally honest, the people that I get to work with, not the people that coach for me, but I'm constantly telling my coaches that it's a blessing for me to watch them grow as people. That's the most gratifying thing. It's great to win. Like the state championships, we're so blessed. And it's been through a lot of hard work and just really the culture. But to see our coaches get married, have kids, become grandparents, be able to write their letter for the Catholic League Hall of Fame, that's why I'm in this. And that's really what, like, for me is what it is. I know I kind of went off a little bit, but it really is that simple. Like, for the growth of our people, that's what it's all about. That's it.
Is there anything you can think back on from any of those guys or your entire time as a student athlete, as a leader at Catholic Central, and think about anything that sticks out to you as some of the best advice you've ever received?
The magic is in believing. Coach Mack.
Love it.
We were really lucky in our league because Coach Mack and Coach Fracassa were the true culture guys before people were talking about it and writing books, and two guys that made you believe in yourself. I'm pretty lucky because I get to work with Dave Sofrin, who's a Brother Rice alum that was really and still is really close with Coach Fracassa. To hear him talk about Al, it's one of the most heartwarming things you'll ever listen to because he just talks so intently about him. And it's the same way I feel about Coach Mack. When Coach Mack used to tell us that the magic was in believing, it was from top to bottom, from visualizing getting up in the morning, planting your feet, saying your prayers, getting down on your knees and just thanking yourself for, thanking God for another day, and then visualizing the rest of your day. And I'll tell you what, you would do it, and more times than not, if you were intentional with it, it worked out pretty darn near close to what he would say. So that one, to me, the magic is in believing, is about as simple as it gets, and that has always stuck with me. That and the Wham never loses yardage, which was our fullback dive, and that was his other big one. So kind of beaten into over the years.
You've already touched on it a little bit, and you and I have talked about it in our alignment in this aspect, but you're a man of very strong faith and character. How does your faith get integrated into athletics for the young men under your guidance at Catholic Central?
Just live it and walk it. I constantly tell the kids, don't talk about it, be about it. I can sit up there and give great speeches and quote great things from the Bible, from Ephesians and Isaiah and Philippians 4:13 or whatever verse you want to use that day in a speech. But if I don't model it in some way, shape, or form to them with how I love, like I'll say things in speeches like, boys, Jesus washed his disciples' feet. Whose feet are you washing today? And like, they know when I say it that I'm walking around like, and they know I'm not washing people's feet, but they know I'm trying to give back as much as possible. So it's I think that's the biggest way too, as long as I model it with them, but I bring my family around a ton, to bring my wife around. And I think it's positive for young men in our all boys school to see healthy relationships that aren't just based on social media posts, which gives them a terrible idea of what love really is. I think if you show them that and model that, I show them how much I love my kids. I kiss them all the time, hug them. I think by living the word and living that message and staying mission focused, I think is the easiest way to incorporate my faith into what we do here. And being in this environment, it just helps me live it every single day. I can't have a down day here because this culture and this place and the faith here won't let me have it. So it just helps me carry it into what I do and pour it out into our people and give as much of myself to them as I can.
You are the man. Every time I'm around you at a Catholic League meeting or anything, I always leave feeling better after every interaction. So I think that's what you do with every aspect of your life, not just at CC.
We're not even in the same room, and I can feel it. I think you hinted on it a little bit about how do you manage an athletic department with 18 varsity sports, not to mention all the sub-varsity teams, from the game schedules to transportation to officials. How do you manage all of that in your department? And I feel that you motivate your team and your coaches, and your team, I mean the people that help you, but can you touch base on that?
Yeah, I have no idea. I just throw a lot
No.
of stuff against the wall and see what sticks. This is the honest to God truth, and I stole this phrase from John Gordon's book, The No Complaining Rule. And in there, it talks about taking care of your roots, not the fruit. Don't stay focused on the fruit, the championship. Stay focused on your people, and every piece of fruit you want will be attainable. So I'm constantly preaching that to our people. The way that I do it is, and I'll be dead honest with you, I'm not great at paperwork. I'm not a good paperwork guy. I found a guy that's insanely detailed with that who runs our full facilities calendar. He's airtight on every single piece of paperwork we have. We have a great athletic coordinator that we brought on this year that fills in some of my other gaps. So I know what I'm good at. I accept what I'm not good at and help people to fill in those gaps. And then we just have built kind of a perfect monster of culture. I always talk about, and our coaches have started to talk about it as well. Number one, there's no complaints without solutions. You can't come to me with a complaint unless you have a solution. I'll kick you right back out of my office. And more times than not, it's a positive solution. That's one of the biggest ones, but you have to live our culture. And when I talk to our coaches about that, I think what helps me organize it a little bit better is that our kids have to hear the culture. They got to see the culture and they got to feel it. They got to hear the right messages. They got to see our coaches model it, and they got to feel it in their hearts and in their souls. So if I can get our coaches to believe that, and then our kids take that culture from the ground up, then it explodes into, and there's plenty of room for growth, but it explodes to where we are today. Because I want everything and everybody to have a seat at the table, whether, to be honest, and I know it's public schools, because it's all about the kids. I don't care about just CC, and Mike and I have talked about this. How do we get that message out across to all these kids? I don't think it's going to happen, but I think in our schools, guys like the three of us and some of the other people that we have are breathing life into our coaches, and that's why you see special things happen. And that's all it is. Fill in your gaps, love the heck out of your people, and watch your culture flourish.
So you've hired a number of coaches over your tenure as athletic director. When you're looking to hire a new coach, what are some of the non-negotiables that you're looking for in hiring a head coach?
That's a great question. And the two of us have had really good conversations about that in the past. I don't go in looking for the best resume. We get a lot of guys that come in that I've already heard about. I do my due diligence. I joke with our coaches all the time that I'm 3 candidates deep in case something happens, which most of them laugh at. But you always kind of have to think like that just in this industry because of the turnover. We've been very blessed to keep a lot of our coaches a long time. But I want to be able to sit down with them and have an honest conversation with them. I want to be able to communicate. I want to see how, this may sound really weird, I hire with my heart and my soul a lot. If I can feel that a person is being genuine, if I know when you tell me you're going to love the kids before anything else and that they're going to know they're loved, if you can prove that to me, that's the number one tick mark. Because above anything else, if these kids don't know they're loved, they're not going to listen to anything else you have to say. And there's times when I have to bridge that gap with some of our coaches who may not have been in a Catholic environment. So the first thing I look for, can you love the kids? Can you understand the culture? We do have coaches that aren't Catholic, but do you have something in your life that helps you repent, that helps you lean on things when times get tough? For me, our head basketball coach, Torrey Jackson, who isn't Catholic, he just got baptized 2 months ago. In the picture I saw of him getting baptized, brought me to tears because it was such a look of joy on his face. So when I hire people, I want to know, like I said, you're going to love the kids. You're going to buy into what we do and breathe it. Obviously, you're going to know the X's and O's, but I want development and things like that before anything else. If we focus on our roots, we're always going to make the right hire. I want to put the best person in front of our kids as a human being, as a person of faith, as a leader, and as a mentor.
Aaron, one of the things as a young coach that I can't remember where I heard it, but it's something that has stuck with me for 25 plus years, that I've kind of been my go-to when I'm talking to young coaches or other coaches in our building. They don't care how much you know till they know how much you care. And that is coaching and leadership in a school setting at its core, in my opinion.
It's the same with adults. The exact same thing with adults. We talk a lot about radical candor, to where I can sit down with coaches and tell them, like, listen, I love you. You know, I care about you. I care about your family. We got to tighten this up. And I can be dead honest with them, and they know it's coming from my heart because they already know how much I care about them. So if you can do that with adults and kids, you got something pretty special on your hands. It's not easy.
So so you and I have talked about the importance of servant leadership, Aaron. At a lot of times we've talked about it at length, and the impact that it can have on an organization or a team or a school. You talk a lot about the culture at CC, and a lot of that culture has to do with servant leadership. Talk about what it means to you and how you live that every day on both a personal and a professional level.
I probably do too much of it, to be totally honest. I think that sometimes I run myself a little ragged when I empty my bucket because I love to be there for people when they're struggling. And I'm there for them when there's something triumphant going on in their lives as well. But a lot of the times when I'm there for that, it's emptying my bucket and there's really no refill. But then I lean back on my faith and I'm like, I just think of stories from the Bible and things like that, or servant leaders that are close to me in my own lives. Like I look at any of the collars in any of our schools. I mean, you look at the sacrifices they make. Our principal this year, Father Fulton, I think we buried 2 bazillions. And he was in charge of all of it while still running our school. And I think we take for granted sometimes what they go through. So I think it humbles me to a point where I'm like, listen, this is what God called me to do. He equipped me for it. So I feel like that's it. But servant leadership, to me, it's just giving back. It's just like I said earlier, whose feet are we washing? If we're not setting the standard for our student athletes or for our coaches, if we can't be there for each other, then we're failing as human beings and we're failing as people of faith. It's that simple. So we try to get our kids to go out, give back, and we blow out a ton of stuff on social media and things like that. And yes, it's great for marketing, but I can tell you this, before we go out into the community and serve, we have a full half hour to 45 minutes talk with them in service about why we're going there, why we have things like our biggest fundraiser, the drive to help with tuition assistance. And hey, look at the guy next to you. If we didn't do this fundraiser, he probably wouldn't be at Catholic Central. So when we talk about servant leadership, we try to put it in a real world perspective and tell them, guys, your job is to give back. That's what you've been equipped to do. It's what we talk about every day here. We give back in what we do. You guys have to follow the lead, and then we just build a great community outside of the walls here.
Yeah, and I think what you do at that age group, right, of a high school, a young man in high school, is you're just planting the seed and hoping that as they leave and graduate, that they go out into their world and serve others the way that people at Catholic Central serve them.
Yeah, that's the goal.
If I can,
you want them to just be good people. It's so easy. I tell them all the time, guys, just be good to each other. It's 2 9 and 7-year-old boys I have at home. It's like, guys, I'm training you two to be better than I could ever be, and I'm training you two to survive when me and mommy aren't here anymore. And that's a tough conversation to have with kids that age. And for me, I'm pretty sensitive. Like I say that, I'll walk away and start crying because I'm like, I'm going to live till I'm 120, but I know that's not the case.
I'm going to try that.
Yeah,
I tried that approach.
We should rename this podcast the 3 Old Dads.
I like it, Daddy Ball.
Because all of us got kids under 11 years old here.
I got 9 and 11 boys.
Yeah.
So I'm with you. Hey, I want to touch base a little bit on the officiating part, and you've been around a lot of high school officiating, on a lot of different sports. So let me get your thoughts on why do you think we're seeing such a shortage of officials across the board, again, at every sport?
I can tell you this. If I were an umpire watching some of the 9U or umpiring some of the 9U travel baseball games that I watched throughout the course of this summer, I don't know how they do it. We completely, not everyone, but we do not treat officials well. We expect high school officials and even college officials at certain points. God forbid if it's a little league official, a kid umpiring a baseball game and there's coaches letting them have it. If I'm that young kid umpiring and I'm getting yelled at by an adult, why would I want to continue to umpire? So until we figure out that problem and what I always tell the officials is we have to work together. And I've gotten to go speak at a couple different conferences for the officials, which I've loved. And I pay in cash, which is stopping this year. We're finally going to ref pay, which I'm so bummed because the officials loved it. Like, it was great.
everybody
Yeah,
wants to go there. It was
Jim's
cash.
taking his CC games
But
off
honestly,
of arbiter.
until people start appreciating what they bring to the game, we're in trouble, boys. Because officials go away. It's what are you going to do? Have parents start registering to officiate their own kids' games in a tuition-based school? You're going to do that? There's nobody. You might get one or two, but I think it's finding ways for the athletic administrators not to shine. It's not. It can't just be the coaches. Athletic administrators have to mentor their coaches on how to treat officials. There's got to be a standard protocol, and there's got to be a standard protocol when they arrive to your campus for an event. Hey, thank you. We got a locker room for you. Maybe write them a little note, something. Give them water at halftime. Snap. It's not that hard. It's just relationship building. So until we start doing more of that, you're not going to see any of these young kids stick with it, because all we're doing now is just hammering them on calls, strike zones, fouls, holding calls, you name it. So,
yeah, amen. Keep preaching that, really, because when they walk, treating them the right way, like they're there to do their job, and they really don't care who wins. Honestly, they don't. All the guys I work with, we don't care. So keep preaching that.
I'm going to hold you to that mid-July,
headlock.
2025. If Torrey Jackson gets a call at the end of a game for CC to win this December, I am going to reference this podcast.
It's not cash.
You're not allowed. I don't think you're allowed to do that technically, but yeah, you know me. I'm always level-headed. I mean, trust me. There's some officials. Every time I see James Briggs, you just want to just give him as much guff as possible. But I think of, even like you said, some of the officials I've gotten to work with. Just you and Shrammy and Briggsy and just, Dempsey and just some legends around the league. I could keep going. Chuck Phillipson, who never looks like he's having fun officiating because he's always got that scowl on his face, but is like one of the nicest dudes out there. So, I did want to mention one person who was a mentor to me, and I texted Mike about him. Dennis Dale, who used to be the associate athletic director over at UAD, passed away this week. And you want to talk about somebody who loved their school, their community, and what Catholic League athletics stood for. Denny was just a legend in this community and a pillar of what faith-based educational athletics is about. So I just wanted to give him a little respect on here and love him and his family, and do everything we can to carry on his name.
We've known Denny. Our nephews and nieces went to St. Anne's with Denny's boys, so we've known Denny for a long time, and there wasn't anything Denny wouldn't do for UAD Jesuit, and higher than that, there wasn't anything he wouldn't do for the Catholic League. Hosting games, he was always around there. So he will certainly be missed. He was a legend in the Catholic League and in Catholic athletics for sure.
Always a friendly smile and welcoming figure when I was at their facilities, or any facilities that he was at. He was really a good man.
The only thing Denny did that drove me crazy, whenever they would beat us in something, he would write the most grandiose post on social media, and I couldn't say anything back, and he was just so good with, like, he'd pull it, and he knew little things would get to me, and I'd call him, I'd be like, Dan, I know what you did, and he'd be like, sorry. So yeah, he'll be missed.
Very much so.
So I kind of want to add to Jim's question a little bit here on officials. What do you think the interaction from a parent perspective, how that seems to have in youth sports in particular, Aaron? We've all seen, and I've talked to, we talked to a number of Division I coaches about this, and Rod Lackey officials. We've talked to a number of people about this. There just seems to be more and more negative interactions between parents and officials. I don't know, like, how do you guys at CC handle that, either from a visiting team or if you're in another gym?
Don't be afraid to step up and handle it. I think that, and I'm not saying that there's a lot of athletic administrators that are, but I think a lot of people shy away from handling fans and try to treat them with kid gloves way too much. I mean, there's been plenty of times in multiple sports where we've had to kick people out of games, where I've helped at other events. And not saying it hasn't it's been fans of our own at times where I've been at games and I've heard them say something that just does not represent who we are. And I'll flat out turn around and tell them, not here. Definitely not doing that here. And if it escalated to a point where I had to sit down and have a meeting with them, I would sit down and have a meeting with them. But you can't be afraid of it. And because, like I said, it all ties in together. What I noticed after COVID is that there's no boundaries anymore. I mean, people just let stuff fly. It's crazy. And I think that if you hear something, you should say something to somebody. And that trickles down into student sections even too. I mean, we were pretty rough back on the officials when I was at CC, and I think back and I'm like, what an idiotic thing to say. I mean, it's just ridiculous.
Mhm.
But I tell our kids all the time, don't talk to the opposing team, don't say a thing to the officials. If you do, I'm throwing you out of the student section. And that's the same message we give to our family. So we kind of stole it from Notre Dame. We want them to parent like champions. So just love your kids, be fans of the game, trust the coaches, trust the officials, trust the game administration, and have fun watching the kids compete.
So those of us involved in high school athletics know the sacrifices, Aaron, that our families make for us to be able to pursue our passions. You at Catholic Central, me at Cardinal Mooney, we both kind of our professional and personal lives have kind of mirrored each other. We don't have 47 state championships, but neither here nor there. But coming back to our alma mater, we both have a lot of passion for what we do at our alma maters. Our families oftentimes can take a back seat to that. Talk to us about the most important people in your life, your wife Lauren and your two boys, Brooks and Bo, and how you integrate them into the CC culture, because I see them an awful lot with you at CC events.
This is a funny story, and I'll keep it quick. The first time I meet my father-in-law, he says, "Oh, you're the athletic director over at Catholic Central," because my wife played softball at Wall Lake Western and then at Michigan. And I said, "Yes, sir." He goes, "Best athletes money can buy." I said, "All right, this is going to get interesting." So then I came back with, Mr. Talbot. I said, if we could buy athletes, nobody would win in anything ever. So that kind of broke the ice between us. But I was really lucky to meet somebody that was a compliment to everything that I'm not in my wife. She loves sports. She loves teaching kids. She's an unbelievable mom to our boys. She's makes me a way better person than I ever thought I would be. So for us, everything starts at home, really, with her. I mean, the sacrifices that she makes to cart our boys around because of my schedule, she knows how much I love it. She knows how much this place means to me. It means the same amount to her, and it didn't take a long time for her to buy in and just fall in love with the kids here and the adults and the culture and the faith. I have two nephews in the school right now, which makes it even more awesome for me because I get to share the journey with them. So I really just met somebody and ended up marrying somebody that I can't put it any other way than she was exactly who I was supposed to marry, and that's who God put me with. So and she's crazy competitive. Like if I beat her in something, she'll freeze me out for 2 hours and not talk to me. So it gets a little sketchy in the house. But that competitiveness trickled down to my boys. And I touched on it earlier, and you guys know this. It changes you. And I never believed it when they said it to me. Oh, wait till you become a parent. It changes you. I'm like, I'm going to be the same person, and it really does, because
Yeah.
I am training them to survive without me and to take care of each other and to carry on everything our family's about and be examples of how we love. I'm really big on this in our house. I want you guys to be examples in the community of how we love each other in our home. So I know when people tell me the boys are being good boys, they're leading with love, because I tell them that all the time. They can recite 10 different phrases I use. And for me, just to bring them around our kids here at Catholic Central, I mean, after games, to watch them play with, like, case in point, we have one of our tight ends who's a Division I kid. He's also an Eagle Scout. Just the boys absolutely love him. Like, he'll play Marco Polo with them, and so to see our kids interact with my boys, it just makes me feel even more blessed to be in this community. So I'm just really lucky. I don't know what I did to deserve it, but I'm having a blast having my family be a part of this journey and just being around some awesome people. And I love and appreciate you guys for everything you've poured back into the community and kids for so long. And it takes people like us to make sure that we circle the wagons and that high school athletics, grade school athletics on a bigger level continue to flourish with leadership, love, and faith.
Thank you for saying that.
He was really talking to me, Jim.
Yeah,
you're on here. He kind of had to say to both you guys.
Yeah.
Remember, he doesn't pay in cash anymore.
We have slush funds. We'll figure
Aaron,
it out.
I want to personally. Aaron, I want to personally thank you for your friendship and your mentorship. Since I've been involved in the league and on the executive committee, and the things that the Hall of Fame committee and the things that you and I have been involved in. I bounce things off you quite often from a school perspective. We text back and forth, and I really appreciate not only what you've done for me on a professional level, but you make me a better administrator. You've made me a better coach and a better person, and you make me want to pursue this thing called Catholic education and helping kids at an even higher level, seeing what you do. So I love you. I appreciate you and everything you've done. I thank you for coming on and sharing your story with Jim and I and our listeners.
Yeah, great time spending with you and listening. And I've written down some things myself I'm going to use in my personal and professional life. So thank you.
It really is that easy. It's funny. I joked about it, and I'm going to do it. I'm going to write a book. We'll see how. I'm sure there'll be a lot of pictures in it, but it's almost going to be a servant leadership playbook called Leaders Love. So it's really what it's built on is a servant leadership playbook. So I love that we got to talk about that. And like I said, I love what you guys are doing. I was teasing Mike, telling him he's the Joe Rogan of the Catholic League and blah blah blah, this and that. But it's awesome. You guys are doing a great job, and just keep pouring into people and keep leading with love. And I'm always
trying
here for anything you need.
All right, appreciate you, Aaron. Thanks.
Appreciate it, fellas.
All right, be good.
You too.
Well, Jim, episode 9 in the books, and it was a motivating episode. That is for sure. Now you understand why, I've formed such a close relationship with Aaron Babicz from Catholic Central.
Yeah, man, oh man, that was fun. You can just feel, I said, you can feel his energy through the screen. Amazing.
And that's genuine. That's not for show. Like, that's how he lives. It's how he's around those kids every day, and his coaches want to work for him. He's everything that's right about high school sports.
Yep, agreed.
In my opinion.
Yep.
So another episode down, and that was a great one. Our first administrator from the high school athletics realm. And we certainly want to thank Aaron for coming on again. We hope you all have a great week. Thank you for joining us on episode 9 of Two Shots in the Ball podcast, and we will see you next week.
We want to clean in the paint. We're going to call hand checking and body checking, and sportsmanship is an absolute must, okay?
He lets it